Okay, recorded is started. Francesca, I'll let you to start if you want, otherwise we will lose too much time.
I start sharing my screen. Okay, so good morning, everybody. Good morning. Well, good afternoon for you. Good morning for me from Italy. So I thank everybody for joining this webinar today. Also the people from Politecnico di Milano, our team on site, and all of you guys for joining us. Basically, I quickly introduce you Politecnico di Milano, the university, what we do, and then I'll leave the floor to the people who really work and put the name high and all over the world of Politecnico di Milano. So Politecnico di Milano is a historical university in Italy. It's a technical university, so we focus only on architecture, design, and engineering. We focus on these three disciplines successfully, and this is well recorded by the rankings. First of all, QS World University Rankings. I'm sure you have heard about this important university ranking. We are first university in Italy, sixth best university in design in the world, seventh in architecture, and among the 20 best technical universities in the world in engineering, of course. Politecnico di Milano is also member of two important alliances among top technical universities in Europe, which are Idea League and Enhance. So below here, you can have a look at the other partner universities in Europe. Where is Politecnico di Milano? Where is it located? Of course, it's located in Milano, which is not the capital of the country, but it's the second most important city in Italy. And it's the heart of Italy's most productive region, which is Lombardy. Milan is an important city, a point of reference for many disciplines, especially for design and fashion, for art and culture, for industry and technology. So it's a city always active with a lot of events taking place in these special areas like fashion, art, culture, design, etc. It's also a student city because we have several universities here in Milan, so we welcome every year 180,000 students, university students. So it's a young city with many things to do apart from the university, let's say. Politecnico di Milano is a large university, so we are centered in Milano itself, which is the heart of Lombardy. But we also have other campuses located in the region, and one is slightly out of the region, where we have programs focused on specific topics. So let's say Milano, in the two campuses in Milano that you see in the middle of this slide, we focus on architecture, engineering, and design. In the other campus, we mainly focus on engineering, that is the green, or architecture, that is the blue color, depending on the specificities of the territory. So it's the programs are strictly related to the territory. We had many famous alumni at Politecnico di Milano. These are just a few names. Of course, the architects of you will know Renzo Piano, who did important works all around the world, Aldo Rossi, another Pritzker Prize, so the Nobel Prize for Architecture, and Giulio Natta, who won the Nobel Prize for his research on polymers, but also other very important alumni. Well, research and technology transfer is a core mission at Politecnico di Milano. And also thanks to the strong collaboration that the university has since many, many years with the corporate research, we are the first university in Italy for a project funded by the European Commission. And well, here numbers are here for you in order to understand how important is research for us. We are, I wanted to let you know our advanced multidisciplinary laboratories. We have very good laboratories, which are also used, as I was saying, by the corporate research, like the wind tunnel, the material testing lab, the Polyfab, which is micro and nano devices laboratory, and the Polyfactory. So these are just few ones that are also used by the companies to test their prototypes. And Politecnico di Milano, well, the research of Politecnico di Milano and our laboratories were put working during the COVID pandemic, unfortunately, but we strongly supported Italy and also other countries with our laboratories, especially aerospace, energy and materials, and chemical engineering laboratories. Product every day more than 6,000 liters of disinfectant. You can see up on the right, it's called Polychina. And the laboratories also are used for compliance tests on materials for the production of masks and other devices for protection. So the university has strongly worked during this pandemic to help the community and also in distance learning. So we started since the beginning of our lockdown period having lectures online. So 40,000 students connected and more than 1,000 professors connected daily. We had online graduations, so many initiatives since the beginning of this unfortunate period. So let's move to the next slide. Okay, so, well, internationalization is another core mission of Politecnico di Milano. We would not be the same today without international students and international professors. As you can see here, our internationalization process started in 2005 with few programs available in English. And now we have more than 6,000 students from different countries, from more than 100 countries enrolled at our programs. So we are very proud of this result. This is the provenience for you to have an idea of where our students come from. So also from Singapore. We also have international professors. That is another strength of Politecnico di Milano, like Kazuyo Sejima, Pritzker Prize, so an architect, Eduardo Sotodomora as well, professor in architecture in Mantova campus. So how we arrived to internationalization, to having this high number of international students? Well, first of all, thanks to the conversion of our programs into English, especially the postgraduate program. So at the moment, we have 2 undergraduate programs in English, and almost the entire postgraduate offer of programs, Master of Science and PhD programs, available in English. So I will let you have a look at the list of programs available in English. So we have 2 bachelor programs in one is architectural design, one is civil engineering in English, lasting 3 years. And programs in architecture, these are Master of Science programs lasting 2 years in all the fields of architecture, from built environment to interiors, urban planning, architectural design and history, so historical architecture and history and preservation, sustainable architecture, so every field of architecture. Then, of course, in the city of design, we couldn't have put our programs in design as well. So starting from product design, we also have a program that blends design and engineering, which is a very innovative program. Communication design, fashion design, and other design programs connected to digital and innovation. As far as engineering is concerned, of course, we have more programs available. Well, engineering was the first topic historically that Politecnico had hosted as a university. So we have now all the fields of engineering available. All of these are, once again, Master of Science programs completely held in English. We also have, starting from last year, we have 2 programs in collaboration with other 2 universities in Milan. One is Cyber Risk Strategy and Governance with Bocconi University, which is an economics university, and Bioinformatics for Computational Genomics with the State University of Milan. The application period is distributed all over the year, so usually you can apply to Politecnico from 1 year before the beginning of the courses till March of the same year. And there's also the possibility to apply for the 2nd semester just for engineering programs between May and July. But on the website you will find the precise guidelines and the deadlines. Politecnico di Milano is an experience, so not only studying, but also enjoying the different cultural events going on campus. We have different students association. We organize several events connected to cinema, music, etc. Sports association, of course. We have a buddy program, so students who arrive at Politecnico can ask to have a buddy to help you setting in Politecnico di Milano. And of course, we have the accommodation of the university. So especially for foreign students, we host many students in our accommodation every year. For those of you who are interested in PhD programs, here's the list of our doctoral programs, from aerospace engineering to urban planning, so several programs available. We also have a PhD program in design that is not so common for universities. And one of the last topic I want to present you is the career service. Politecnico di Milano, since its Foundation. It's a university that is strongly connected to the job market. We collaborate with the companies to research, and we are in constant connection with the companies. And we have a very good career service, which is the office helping our student finding a job in many ways. So they offer career guidance, they organize job fairs, they organize workshop in many fields in order for the students to know how to behave during a job interview, for example. There are many opportunities. And as you can see here, the employability level of our students is very high. These are the last year data, but as you can see, the numbers are very high. I would suggest you, if you want to know more, to visit our career service website in order to have a look at the companies that are connected to us and all the things that we organize.
Thanks, Francesca.
Thank you very much. I leave you to the website and the contacts.
Thank you so much, Francesca. Now would let Laura to introduce her experience. Laura, she's an alumni of Politecnico Milano, and she's working here in Singapore, but I'll let Laura to introduce herself and to present her experience.
All right. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. And thank you for inviting me here. It's very nice to hear about the school where I came from, and I started many years ago. Can I ask if everybody is hearing me well? Maybe just some of you to give me feedback. Okay.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, good. So, my name is Laura Miotto. I am an exhibition designer, actually. I have worked almost more than 20 years in the field of design as a creative director and also as an architectural designer, I would say. And I work in creating exhibitions. Mostly, I work interpreting collections, working on creating exhibitions that deals with cultures that are in phases of transformations, like here in Singapore. And of course, I work a lot on the design strategies on how to interpret this and communicate it to the public. So perhaps some of you may have seen some of my work because I collaborated with almost all the museums in Singapore. But I would like to share the screen to show you at least one of the last projects that I did. Okay, I hope this is working all right. Sorry, I have
it's
to
perfect.
go back. Yes, okay, there we go. So I wanted to just say something about this exhibition, Guopei Chinese Art and Couture, which just is very recent. It was at the Asian Civilizations Museum in Singapore, an exhibition which I work at in collaboration with GSM Project. And it is actually a very good example of how ancient objects of design, if you want, masterpieces from the museum are in dialogue with the current creations, contemporary creation from a very famous couturist in China. So it was a very good platform also to think of how Chinese aesthetics are now being reimagined and redesigned for the world today. You can see here some images of the exhibition. It was taking on a couple of galleries at the Asian Civilizations Museum, and it was very much of a blockbuster, I would say, because also people are kind of interested, I think, on these topics of fashion and design and how they come together. And maybe that's why also we got a very important award, the Global Fine Art Award, in just this year for this exhibition. So just only to explain a little bit more about myself, another important exhibition I worked on was this Quest for Immortality, the World of Ancient Egypt. This was much earlier on. It was in the year 2010. it was at the National Museum of Singapore, and this was very important to me because I received the President Design Award for this, and so it was a very important personal recognition. But aside of this, why I want to bring it up to you is because when this exhibition won that award, it meant also that something was changing in the design sector in Singapore, because for the first time, work of exhibition design was recognized as much as a product or an architecture. So this is just to bring me to say something about how design, it's something that is constantly evolving, constantly in transformation. And it is something that transforms as much as our society is in constant transformation. And I think I was very well equipped to think this way because I was formed in the Politecnico of Milan, which had a very interesting school of thoughts about design. So when I actually started, it was many years ago, I believe many of you are much, much younger than me. This was in the 90s, and I attended the Politecnico of Milan. I applied to the School of Architecture. I went to study for, at the time, any designer would study at the School of Architecture. The course of study was 5 years. And yeah, and basically whether you would be a product designers or we were all under the roof of architecture. So I studied there, and I got what perhaps today would be called the Masters of Science in Architecture. And in 1998, I became a professional architect with a habilitation in Italy. So one of my first professors in school was Anna Castelli Ferrieri. This is why I brought up the picture of some of the amazing furniture that she pioneered, designing as a designer that was introducing plastic, the use of plastic in furniture. And so she did a lot of these furniture pieces for Cartel. And what for me is a very fond memory of the Politecnico of Milan is how much I, as a student, could also access these places. We could go to Cartel, to Alessi at any time to see design in the making, literally speaking. And so this is, it brings me to think also, and also to want you to encourage you to explore Milan as a capital of design, because Milan is not just a place that gave birth to very important designers. Of course, we had Gio Ponti, we had Achille Castiglioni. When I was attending school, Achille Castiglioni was one of the professors. We had Ettore Sozzas. All these people were very active in the world of design in Milan. But most importantly, it's also the place where important magazines of design have started. Domo started in 1928. So it speaks also a lot about how this culture of design evolved over the years. And this is because, as Francesca said, Milano is the industrial capital of Italy. And in many ways, today is also an economical capital. It is also a very progressive city, a very cosmopolitan city. And this very open-minded and stimulated environment is what made design thrive. Because I think what is very peculiar about the culture of design in Italy, it is that the very visionary designers they were not just incredibly good at technical level and so on, and very talented, but especially that they were intellectuals. They went into a very interesting merge with the industry and with local entrepreneurs to create a very stimulating environment. So while I was in Milan studying, and by the way, I also grew up there. I would say anybody that had the occasion to study there, it's immersed in what we used to call la cultura del design. I don't know very well how to translate this in English because it's the design culture, but perhaps a better way it would be to say the culture of good design. It is a place which was the laboratory of ideas behind the scene of the so-called Made in Italy. So the Made in Italy was not just made there, but it was also constantly provoked and discussed and thought over there. So even today, I would say we could think of Milan as one of the epicenter of design. The international fair that happens there every year. It's a very important place that is, and I would say a very strategic point of view for designers. Any designer want to go there to see what is happening in the industry. And it is also not only very important at commercial level, but it is important in terms of setting design trends.
Wait a second, I'm gonna mute everybody, Laura, because I hear some noise.
So, yeah, so, but I believe you can hear me anyway. So, to come back to me and my practice as a designer, and also to the fact that when I then moved to Singapore, my clients and my career in exhibition design was devoted very much to cultural purposes. I work a lot in museums, and so the mission of my clients, often were public institutions or museums, was to promote the art, to promote cultural heritage, and so on. But I always felt very well equipped to promote this kind of cultural understanding because of the way of the formation I had in my school, and also, of course, to find many, many innovative ways of thinking of design and reaching out on a large group of people, on large audiences, and so on. So I think this way of thinking in many ways is the school of thoughts of the Politecnico of Milano, at least it is what I carry with me very fondly. And it is really related also to the fact that Milan is a very cosmopolitan place, and it has a very rooted way of looking at design. So besides the Milan Fair, Biennale of Milan, I wanted just to close to talk about a very important alumni that we have, and she, Paola Antonelli, which we have here in the photograph, sets a lot of trends in design today, since she sits as the chief curator of design at the MoMA of New York. And so I would say the list of alumni active internationally is very huge. So I hope with this I have give you some incentive and express in many ways my love for the school I come from. Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Now I let Matteo Chiampo, another alumni of Politecnico, to introduce himself. And after that, we have 2 questions already collected. Francesca will let you at the end of the presentation of Matteo to answer to those questions.
All right, Beppe, do you want me to go ahead? I really don't have a presentation. I'm actually gonna try to, also because we are kind of at time, I'll try to be very concise. Thank you, everyone, joining us today. It's really incredible how the school has grown. When I was there, and we are talking about a few decades ago, really Politecnico of Milan was a real excellence in technical studies and in architecture, but mostly limited to the Italian context. And it's incredibly powerful to see how the school and the alumni network and the teaching staff and the administrative staff has been able to really move and push the boundaries of the excellence that the school represents across the world. And I can actually bring, again, for sake of brevity, I can bring my personal experience, which has been absolutely aligned with what Laura was saying, incredibly formative. I was coming out of classical studies when I decided to join the aerospace engineering at Politecnico of Milan. And of course, there was a period of adaptation, but definitely an incredibly powerful and mind-opening set of studies. The complexity of the studies and the ability to kind of interact with the teaching staff, the availability of labs were all kind of elements that really pushed my thinking. It was a difficult course of study, I have to admit to that. It wasn't easy. It really stressed and kind of, and I think it did prepare myself for the challenges that we all are gonna face in our professional career. Just to give you a little window on why I applied for Politecnico, specific aerospace engineering, that was the feeder for the automotive, competitive automotive and racing automotive industry in Italy, which is very developed in northern Italy. Is a little bit of the motor valley of Italy, where you have Lamborghini, you have Ferrari, you have Maserati, you have Dallara, you have several really important international brand names in the motorsport industry. My personal dream was to participate in that, and as an engineer, and the Politecnico of Milan, really the experience and the instruction really helped me achieve that that dream and that goal. After that has been a great support for my international career, which spanned 10 years in the US, 8 years in India, brief stints in Bangladesh and Myanmar, and then recently here in Singapore. All in all, again, I'm speaking more towards the technical engineering side of the audience. Those who might look at bachelor or master in engineering or STEM in general, it's an incredible school and a really powerful foundation for your career, but also to realize personal dreams like I've done with my school. And with that, I thank you very much, and I pass the baton back to Beppe.
Thanks, Matteo. Francesca, you are in mute because I mute everybody, so please unmute yourself. I don't know if you can read the question in the chat. Otherwise, I would read it for you.
Yes, thank you very much, Giuseppe, and Matteo and Laura, for your intervent. I read the questions. Basically, we have two students, Jeremy and Guida, who are asking for the bachelor in design. So, Laura, you had very good influence on our students. And the application for the bachelor in design is open every year in spring, so between usually March and July. We have an entrance test. So in order to enter the university, you need to pass an entrance test, which is held every year, once a year in Milan, usually at the end of August. And there are some, on the website, you find the contents of the test. So there is some general culture, some graphic representation, some math. And in order to, so we don't, as Guida was asking, if we request an Italian language certificate, because programs in design, unfortunately, are in Italian, the bachelor program. We don't ask for any Italian language certificate, but the test is conducted in Italian. So you need actually to have a minimum level of Italian, let's say A2 or B1 would be better, in order to understand the questions and to pass the entrance test. So, of course, to follow the lectures. So the language certificate is not required, but we suggest you to study Italian before coming to Politecnico.
Yeah, Francesca, involving the question from Jeremy, he has to do the national service, and here in Singapore is a 2-year service. So I guess when he's asking when to apply, maybe the question is much more, can he apply, for instance, this year and then enter in 2 years from now, or he has to wait the year on which he has to enter?
Yes, you need to wait, and on the year you are planning to enter the university, you take the entrance test. Yes, so you need to wait till you finish the national service. Yeah.
Okay, so there are no more questions. So thank you all for participating to this webinar. Thanks, Francesca. Thanks, Laura, and thanks, Matteo.
Grazie, everybody.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
See you at Politecnico.
Thank you. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Thank you.